For 6 years on the Senate floor, Sheldon Whitehouse has been part chemist.
I produce carbon dioxide as I exhale.
Part teacher, part Don Quixote, talking about windmills.
We have the nation's first offshore wind farm.
And tilting at them, every week imploring his colleagues to do something about climate change.
It's really time to wake up.
The Democrat is from Rhode Island, the ocean state, threatened by rising sea levels.
I am quite determined to do everything that I can to make sure that the very map of my state is not changed by carbon pollution on my watch.
His urgent, oft-repeated message often echoing around an empty chamber.
It can be a very lonely feeling.
What would you say to critics who say after 200 and some speeches, all you've really done is produce a whole lot of hot air?
Well, I think you'd have to talk to other people, folks in the scientific community who are feeling very beleaguered and beaten by particularly the Trump administration.
Married to a marine scientist, Whitehouse is an attorney by trade, using both their passions to spur action.
At the heart of this conflict is a battle between truth and science and power and lies.
So it's not about lobsters or polar bears or even beaches. For you, it's ultimately about the truth?
It's about lobsters, polar bears, beaches. It's about jobs and success in the new emerging green economy. But above all of that, I think it's also about what is our country.
A weekly reminder for those who will listen.
I yield the floor.
That every day is Earth Day. Ann Thompson, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.